Hello everybody, and welcome to this architecture design tutorial in which I'm going to show you how easy it is to use Shapr3D to explore the design of such a deck design as you can see here. What is very interesting in this lecture is we're going to work with a scan of a topology as you can see here. And we have human figures to establish scale. And at the beginning of this lecture, we are going to block out a very basic design, as you can see here. And then step by step, we make copies and modify these copies to very quickly explore different design ideas. This is actually a really good example for how fast Shapr3D and solid modeling can be to explore different design configurations. Now you see this is a flat roof, a pitch roof, then we completely change the roof type. We make the deck shorter, we make the deck longer, we put an end piece on there, we put ribs in between, we remove ribs, we add a window there. And then in the end, we bring everything back to the center where we started actually, so we can prototype how this design could look on this actual sliding hill. And then when we add some basic materials and stage this scene, we can create kind of like a really nice, charming presentation or vision of how this design later could work. All the source files for this exercise, there is a download link in the video description. And let's go. So here we are. Let's take a look at this scan. As we can see, we have people's standing there. This is more horizontal. And then we have this significant slope to slide down, and then a more flatter area to slow down during the sliding. Let me zoom into the human figures. On purpose, they are very low polygon because I don't want the viewer to pay attention to them. But I can see enough. I see where the foot is, legs, hip, hands, elbow, head. And these models only function as a scale reference because where the foot is, that is where you stand. Hip level or so, and that is kind of like where you might have then and a handrail or something, and the head, well, eye level. Very good. Cool. So let's go to the top view. We go to sketch and make a rectangle from center, and do not, I repeat, do not draw this on the origin. Somewhere else, just draw this 360 by 240 inches. Then this rectangle we can freely move around. Here it would be in trees. Here it would perfectly block the really nice pristine sledding area. That makes no sense. So let's get this kind of like maybe to this corner here. And I'm going to overlap this also a little bit with the hill. Then we select the sketch profile and we are going to extrude this one down. How much? 160 maybe in this model. That is fine. Now, based on where you're living, are you in a hot climate? Are you in a cold climate? The depth is going to change because you need to calculate in how far during the freezing time, so winter, negative temperatures penetrate the soil. And this is something that is really important when you do an actual project and it's being constructed. Right now, this is more really in the conceptual phase, so something like this is totally fine. Perfect. We can also see here, there's a little bit of a step. No, this is bad. No, actually it's okay because when it rains, all this surface gets wet and the water flows down the sledding hill, and actually it does not flood or flow into this part. So this is actually quite a kind of good. Now you can easily step onto it. So when I go back actually here to the sketch and select it, I can select the sketch, and if I want, I can move this one also up vertically, no? As you can see, plus I can then move the sketch around and with this reposition where that initial foundation would be. So that's kind of good. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to the sketch. And then we're going to add 3 lines. And there we are. We select all the lines, make them horizontal and vertical, and then this line and this line we're going to make equal because this cantilever deck I would like to be I would like to be the same length as the foundation, so it's half of the whole construction width-wise. When we construct now the deck, we have to talk about the floor. For simple terms, let's call the floor 2 inches plus the joists. The joists are like, let's say, 2 by 12, for example, or 2 by 10. So this initially we can extrude down to something like, let's say, 14 inches. Very good. As a new body. Cool. Let's hide the sketch. Then here, now we are going to build actually the house that goes over it. No? And this is actually now where our humans come in, kind of handy. So you, hello there. We just bring them over. Let's rotate them a little bit. There we are. Cool. I can now use actually these figures to design the space that goes over them. So here, this flat surface, I'm going to select, extrude, and extrude this one up, let's say 96 inches, new body, there we are. And here I push this back in and yeah, there we can see, whoa, there isn't really much space between the head. I want this to feel much bigger. Okay, so I can go to the history, go to extrusion, and this 96, I change to 216. Yeah, wow, this is actually much bigger now. So this one here, I'm going to delete so this feature, and I can basically now take a look at this. So before we continue, let's go to the visualization. We go to stone. We apply the stone to the foundation, so concrete. There we are. And then to the rest, maybe right now we just double click them and then we simply give them an orange or yellowish woodish material. Let's say something like this. Perfect. Cool. Okay, very nice. Let's go back then to the modeling. The nice thing about working actually conceptually is it's not the idea of being perfect to the fine detail, but more very quickly create variations. So to create a variation, we can select everything, make a copy, and then so that's 240, 300. Now let's say 300 inches. Okay, good. And I could now think of, okay, so if I select this edge and I move this edge down 60 inches, how long is this one? So 156. Now this is still much, much bigger or taller than the original room I had. Now there I can see. So if I go to kind of like this view, yep, there's plenty of head space. Okay, good. So let's select the whole thing one more time. And then we go another, so 300 inches. Actually, no, let's delete this. Delete and delete. Nope, delete. Because what I'm going to do now is the following. I select this and instead of 300, I go 600. because oh, this is kind of like sloped. How would this look if we select actually these two edges and chamfer them? How can we chamfer this so we have a nice center line? This is 240 inches. And 240 divided by 2 is 120. There. You see actually that these edges are now, oh, look at this, 96 inches, by the way. Now, typical room height. Okay, cool. Maybe the scene at this moment we can also turn off, so it's less important. Here we can select this and then make another copy, 300. There we are. Because now actually we can start playing around. Do I want this to be shorter? Let's say 200. Okay. And I select this one, make a copy, 600 inches. Do I want this actually to be wider? Maybe 400. No, who knows? So you see already how very quickly we start developing kind of like a variation of elements. Now I can do interesting things like this. So this face I'm going to extrude to this face. Thank you. And then I will isolate this one and say, hey, that whole thing maybe 10, no, not 10 inches. So 12 inches is a foot. Let's say 12 multiplied by 4. Okay, we can go back to the material, adjust this. Oh, maybe this is a too depressing cutter. There, let's go to this. Very good. This looks nicer. Cool. Okay, now there you can see this. We can then select this and make another copy. Another 300 inches. And so this is actually 48. What is 48 multiplied by 2? Okay, beautiful. And you see actually this starts to look quite nicely. Here these things are kind of boring. This actually gets interesting. Here this is kind of nice. This whole element actually would, how do I connect this? That actually would just fall off. So for example, this piece I will extend to, so this is 1 foot, let's say 2 feet. Okay, and then from this one, I need this one to be removed, subtract, keep the removed body. There we are. Now there you can see how this actually sits on it. Then let's select actually here these two bodies, isolate them. And I want to see how this looks when we shell this. Now the question is, how are we going to shell this? So let's say we use kind of like 0.75 for the outside and maybe a 2x4. So let's say in simple math, 1 inch outside, 4 inches inside, so 5 inches of material thickness. This is not 100% correct, but simply it simplifies a little bit the math and for the quick modeling. Because again, later we can select a face and adjust all the dimensions anyway. There. Cool. Beautiful. So you can see this, and this looks maybe a tick too thin. Let's say for the inside, 1 inch outside, and then maybe we put 6 inch. So let's say 7. Let's go actually with 10. I'm just curious, volume wise, how this would look. Now you see this actually has more volume, for example. This looks better. Beautiful. Okay, very nice. What about I would like to have some ribs that actually go in between. So I can select these two edges. So 304 inches. Okay. So I'm going to select this one and then I'm going to extrude this one out as a new body. And so for 6 inches. There we are as a new object. And then I go to extrusion and say start from profile with an offset also of, sure, let's say 6 inches, no? Uh, Not the draft angle. There, there we are. Okay, cool. So if I now select this one and then go to the linear pattern and say the spacing in between. So here we have 10, let's say 2, so 6. That means that needs to be 12. So we always have an open space in between. Okay, very good. Now I can say, what about 20 pieces? But the spacing, that needs to be 12. Okay, 30, let's say 24, bring this back. 25, cool. Okay, sure. Now it looks kind of nice. Now you see this. Imagine actually you walk through this stack now and then you see this design. To be a little bit more perfect, I could now say, hey, that surface, I would like to be flush with that surface. So replace face. Thank you. And then there's a 6-inch difference. So that one. So 100 minus 6, that's 94. Bonk. That's easy math. There we are. Cool. Okay. Now look at this actually. That's quite interesting how now it actually developed this part. Then we can go to the top view, select everything, we make another copy, bring this down another 300 uh, inches. We can go to this front view, select everything, do an isolation, and then we can kind of like bean count. Oh, is there actually, oh, there's a draft still active in my case. Oh yeah, there is 0 flop. Thank you. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to simply select all the parts that are in between and delete them. So now I have actually a perfect, nice distribution of the left and right area of points. Can actually add this to the linear pattern. There we are. Beautiful. Cool. Now you see that. Maybe we would like to also add an opening. So I turn this one off. So we are back to see everything. I select that one, make a copy, another 300, and then here I can select this, create a sketch on there, and know essentially now the I can Google, for example, when I create a window, let's say here is a window, there and there and there, to the floor. What's kind of like the minimum height? What is actually also a rail handing height, etc. Select everything, horizontal and vertical. I can say that one should be, let's say, 40. This we make Also 40. There we are. Perfect. And then we can select this and cut through as you see this. And then when we go back to the sketch, when we play with the sketch, now this is actually a mirror line, so I could also delete this line, select that one and this edge, and then add a dimension to the edge. But before I do this, ideally, you only want to do this with this sketch and this body isolated. So when I go to the sketch, I select then the bottom edge of this wall, because that's actually what I'm doing that reference for. And then I can just push things around. Let's say 100 there. Very good. Unisolate. Beautiful. Select this sketch one more time. Now bring this to there. Let's say 200, maybe make this smaller. Cool. Okay. Now this looks actually quite nice. I will turn off this sketch. I select the whole body and we do one last copy, I think. There. Perfect. And then I will select this and just I want to cut this out. It doesn't do it. It's not allowed. Oh, yeah, this is not Germany. This is not verboten. We can do this. Then we just do this simply this way. We select that face and extrude, but wait, stop. We extrude this one quick through and we cut. Now you see how this automatically cuts. Cool. Okay. That's nice. Now the only problem is, okay, we have these floating elements. How do we make sure that's not going to be an issue? So we can do the following. We select this one more time. We do an extrude. I extrude to this face as a new body. Very good. Then I select these three faces. And then I do a shell, and let's say 1 inch of a material thickness. And there, bonk, there is actually the piece that fills it. No? Easy peasy. Then we can go to the visualization command and add actually this one more time to there. Perfect. Beautiful. No? Now let's say this all actually looks pretty cool. So I want this not to be back where my initial model was. So first, what I will do is, that is the design I like. And I'm going to put this into a folder. Thank you. And then all that other stuff here, I select, put into a folder. Let's say we call this one final. And this is called study. Very good. And with the align command, now I could say, well, that edge align to that edge, flop, it's back to that position. And I can turn this one off. And there, oh, we're actually, oh, where are my humans? I must have by accident deleted them. Unsuppress. Well, that's actually a funny mystery. Where are my dudes? This one, let's hide. Oh, there they are. That might be actually in. Oh, yeah. Okay, makes sense. When I selected them, I put them all into this folder with the study object. So that makes totally sense. So There, I put them into a folder. There we are. Put that into there. Okay, good. There we are. Good. So that means for you, ideally, you wanted to do the folder stuff before, no, after you hit the humans. Otherwise, you might have selected them by accident. So study is gone. There's that. There are our humans. Beautiful. No? And we can actually select the humans now and stage them to, okay, cool. How would this actually be when I go to this place? Yeah, and then just look around. Then this is actually where, for example, VR, virtual reality or so becomes very interesting because then you can walk through that model. Something we can do on a computer. To refine this design a little bit, now logically, for example, that is meant to be a joist construction plus a top surface. We could build all the elements into it. That has to be refined. This logically is not just a basic block. There is a wood construction that goes in there, outside and inside, for example. Here there are actually joinery elements, but this is all just a quick study model, so we can keep it at this. If we want, we can be a little bit playful and do something like this. So I select this, make a copy and rotate it. Very good. Then this edge to this edge I align, move this over till it snaps. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of like a waste of wood or so, but this looks actually quite interesting, no? This design. What about we make this 24? So 2 feet. Okay. Yeah, no, could be something. This can't float. There needs to be some sort of foundation that goes actually and connects to it. So we can select this face, go to the sketch. Yeah, and then think about, so here's a center line. This is a symmetrical element, so I don't have to build everything perfectly there. Oh, thank you. So you go to there. Very good. I draw here a line. There we are. This line to this line, I will make parallel. How long is this? Well, let's say 24 inches. The gap here or there to there, that is, yeah, could be still 2 inches. Very good. Maybe one line that goes to there. Then this line to here should be perpendicular. And actually here, we want to lower the amount of metal being used. So this and this and this and this, and we'll make parallel. Wait, you can't do this? You should be able to do that. Come on. You don't do that? Okay, delete. Offset single, this one. Also 2 inches. Thank you. And then this point, I drag along the guideline down. So that is actually now parallel, by the way. Cool. Very good. Nice. Because what I can do now is I can select this, and say extrude to there. I select this and extrude this one to there. And then these two, you and you, I do mirror over this there. These two we fuse together. That's the concrete foundation, and that's kind of like a steel bracket everything is going to sit on slightly. Okay, cool. When this is kind of like the design process. Now you have an idea, you try something out, you model it, and then you see where are problems, where stuff working, and then you adjust it. I'm just applying now galvanized steel there. Beautiful, cool, very nice. Okay. Now and then we could actually we do two things. I would like to add a little bit more now of finishing detail. So for example, a little bit of some of this should be covered by metal siding. Same here. Or actually, do we do this? Well, maybe those who have to see. And then I would like to have also some LED lights inside. Okay. So you could go online, look up references for metal roofing. Here in this case, again, we're just only very quickly going to create a study for how this could look like. So we have this or these four beautiful edges and this ground plane. So on this ground plane, I'm going to create a sketch. There you see that. There we are. And then I will create, I do this on purpose really thick so it is easier to see what I'm doing. So there's actually this the siding. The siding also goes up a little bit. And there we are, and goes down. Okay, then let's remove this. Actually, 1 inch is a tick too excessive. Let's go half an inch so it's easier to see. And then we put another half inch over it. There. Cool. Okay. Plus, now here we need to have also on the inside a finish element. So we do this actually here, 0.5 and there, and trim this. And I have to do exactly the same 0.5, 1 inch, 1 inch. Very good. Okay. So this piece I will now sweep across these edges. Flonk. Then I will select this and sweep this. No, this time I can simply select the inner edges. It's easier to select. Flonk. Cool. There, look at that, no? So this is actually one module. And then these objects, now I can select, go to linear pattern, and yep, this is actually correct. So we have a spacing of 10. What about we do 30? 40? How far does this go? 35. 36. Now this is like where elements like oh wow, perfect. I just made this one flush to here. Great. So I don't even have to just adjust my design because now here, as you can see, everything is dear perfectly flush. So this can go in there. So this is actually really, really great. What do we do with the inside here? So I can go back to my sketch here. There we are. Okay, this linear pattern actually I turn off for the moment. And now, so this goes over half an inch. It goes, so 1.5, let's say, I don't know how far, maybe this is enough. Okay, and I think I need to do something similar here. So this one is 4 inches and this one is 2 inches. I need to figure out the distance here. So from there to there, 1.5. And then this one is 3.5. Okay, good. So 1.5 and this is 3.5. So they're exactly the same. Cool. What I do actually with that, well, I can still hide actually this linear pattern, select these profiles, and oh shoot, I don't have the sweep profile. Well, I do have. I simply use this edge there and sweep. And there you see now I have a kind of like a metal cap, and I do the same here. There. Click, 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 and sweep. There we are. And then I don't really like the result. These things look really very flimsy. So you and you, I make tangent. This dimension I turn off. And then I go to here. Do we have a dimension? Yeah, here I push this one simply over. Should we go to the midpoint? I don't know, maybe to somewhere here. Very good. And escape. Let's take a look. And there you can see this covers actually everything. I take more. Show now the rest of the siding. Ah, wonderful. Perfect. Kind of cool. So how do we open actually the rest here? This is very easy. We simply select these surfaces. We do a loft. Thank you. Then we select that inner face, go extrude and cut completely through. Plonk. There we are. Okay. This one, this one we want to, well, technically speaking, we need to trim this. So subtract. So from that one, we actually cut this one out. And here we do the same also here. We want to trim this there because these sidings, they have to stand over it. Look at this, how easy this design works. Cool. Okay. Last thing, let's go to isolate. We might need also some light. So I can go to this face, go to sketch. There we are. And then I am going to show what's the easiest way. This is actually here a midline. So I draw a line and there's a rectangle. From there, go to there. Draw how wide is this? Let's say 5 inches. What is the distance? Maybe also 5 inches. Very good. Beautiful. And I can then select this, push this in a little bit, let's say 0.5 of an inch. We can do the same on the other side very quickly. There we are. Oh, make sure this is on that midline now. Same modeling strategy. 5 inches and there to there, 5 inches. And this is 5 inches. Perfect. And then that, no, that we push in 0.5. Cool. Beautiful. So, let's go to Visa. There we are. No, you see, what we have, we can select these faces which we just created. And for example, there I'm going to insert a recessed light. So go to the utility shader. There is the light. We want this to be your kind of like a nice and warm light. Cool. Very good. Now it's actually time to style everything a little bit more. So this kind of like opaque material we have here, we're going to change into something that's more realistic. So we go to wood. Now I can see what we have here, something that could be functional birch boards, for example. You see, this is actually really big. So when we change the scale, it works a tick better. And then these elements here we have now, so the inside and outside, that, for example, we actually want to be, whoa, nope, stay here. Plus also this top surface here. I want that to be OSB. And it's getting close, close, close. There it is. There we are. And also here we can change the scale to make it look a little bit bigger. Cool. Beautiful. Yeah, look at this. Now we can go to environment, maybe gradient. Is it evening? Maybe lower this a little bit. There we are. Oh, I overwrote my lighting material. There we are. Change this one to this. Thank you. And this nice warm light. And this is now a detail question. Is this actually cut in? Let's isolate this. It's easier to do it that way. I'm going to add a metal material along these edges. There, and change. Go to metal. There we are. I don't know, maybe aluminum. Cool. Unisolate. The thing left is, for example, well, this stuff. So what material is this? Default material. So the default material we have here, when we select the material, we selected all these objects, and then we could say maybe galvanized steel. Okay, sure. Well, looks good. Show the rest. Now, logically, our mesh body is not galvanized steel. So here we go back to change material, go way to the bottom of the material list, default material, and there we're back. Maybe what happens if we make this slightly greenish? We could, but then that's kind of like getting distracting. So maybe this gray is actually not too bad. Here are humans. Yeah. And there we are. We very quickly developed kind of like this observation deck in Shapr3D through a nice iterative process. And now we could, for example, bring this up to a client, continue talking about it. And honestly, then comes the question of how to turn this model into something that can be constructed. Very good. Perfect.